So today is September 11th, 2025, 24th anniversary of the Twin Towers in New York and the hijacking of the other two airplanes. Time for reflection. It is kind of one of those things that we all remember where we were at. If you were 10 years old or 60 years old, you kind of remember when the news came on. I distinctively recall a beautiful day. I'm working in my garage or in my basement. My friend calls me, tells me, turn your TV on. And it was kind of interesting because as I was on the phone with him, we were looking at both towers, and my buddy is one smart guy. He goes, something's going on, because two airplanes had hit the tower. We knew that the news was kind of, and then they collapsed right live as I was looking at the news footage as it was coming live streaming. So anyway, a lot of people died. The one image that always stays with me is there was a lady trapped up just on a floor below where the airplane cut into the building, and she's standing down there and she's waving, saying, hey, here I am, and she was alive. Looked like she was in perfect condition. Obviously, when the towers collapsed, that was it. A lot of conspiracies on the towers, and the government knew and everything like this. Well, there's always some truth in a rumor. I believe the government did know something was going on, but you just couldn't predict the day. We always have this, how much overreach do you want? Do you want people coming in and searching and coming and arresting you or something like that? You really can't do that without probable cause, stuff like this. So the government knew something was going on with these guys training on the airplanes. But as far as the Twin Towers and the government blowing it up, kind of a hard sell. You have to look at the construction. It was a skeletal system, and which was a unique building in the first place. They were tall. For it to collapse like that, it just is an oddity. But if you've ever been in construction and know how, hey, you got to plumb that thing in perfect vertical. Here's how the weight. Here's how everything works for your footings. So I'm not going to go there. So yesterday we were out for a motorcycle ride. I get home and I see the news that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated, which is very unfortunate because I look at, and I thought about this last night, I thought, okay, he just had ideas. He was going to college campuses and he was just kind of explaining, hey, you need to kind of rethink this. And I do believe colleges have gone a little too extreme to one side. I get it. You want to have a good comprehensive overview. I mean, you leave the house, you're 18, you're off on your own, you're going to college. You need to be exposed to a lot of different things that maybe in your world you never knew about. However, I do believe there is a lack of teaching business principles, economics, and true government. I can't understand how, after over 1,000 years of a socialism that has failed every time it's tried, and all you have to do is look at Venezuela and Argentina, which was a socialist country for many, many years, and these people worked for the government, but no one, there's a large number of government employees, and Malay gets elected, and the news media doesn't cover the fact that, hey, their economy is doing pretty well, and there's a lot of investment coming in. So for Charlie Kirk, just going to these campuses and throwing these ideas out, and then to be assassinated, it's tragedy no matter which way you look at it. But I was thinking about other leaders. Why is it that people that have ideas just can't be listened to? Now, JFK was assassinated, right? Think about, had that not happened, we would have never gone into Vietnam. John F. Kennedy had asked, like 2 months before he was assassinated, and we had advisors on the ground, how many advisors had been killed? And he said, that's too much. He was going to sign a proclamation that, hey, get those people out of there. He wasn't too excited about the regime that was in the South Vietnam, and realizing it's a civil war, we'd have never gone in. As soon as he was assassinated, Johnson comes into office, and there we are, right? We got involved with a war that we couldn't win, although we won every battle. It was just a bad deal. Shouldn't have been there. I look at RFK. When he was assassinated, here's a guy walking along, running for president. He's got some good ideas. Hey, here's how we bring this nation together. Here's how we follow through with a lot of policies that JFK had and everything like that. He gets assassinated. Then I look at Martin Luther King, who had a lot of ideas and was really making a lot of progress. And some nut job goes and assassinates him. And you look at the world, had Martin Luther King not been assassinated, where would we be, right? So it's unfortunate to see this going on. I mean, it's totally uncivil, and assassinations are terrible. And our president, Donald Trump, there was an attempted assassination on him. So it kind of bothered me last night. I mean, anybody getting killed at age 31 with 2 young kids, it's a terrible thing. But, you know, unraveling the mystery of capitalism versus socialism. Hey, we all want the opportunity, right? We want to be able to live a good life, prosper, have a home, family. But socialism isn't the answer. I was in the service when, in Germany, I would look at West Germany, we'd fly the helicopters along the border there, East Germany. You could just tell there was a distinct poverty line, East Germany, your lovely socialism. And I just cannot believe, to this day, knowing what we know, that it doesn't work because there's no incentive. And what happens, and I experienced this in the Army, was I'm working my tail off. I'm a heavy maintenance crew member working on helicopters. And then you had others that were just barely doing the minimum. So we didn't have the full force. We didn't have the best. So we would have to work weekends because we had a readiness standard. And so I learned I wasn't getting promoted any faster. Okay, so I'm running out of steam, right? Am I going to really come in and perform my best? And that's what happens in socialism. You don't incentivize people to excel at what they're doing. All you're doing is you're having people come in, they're going through the motion. Just think of the DMV. You go down there, can you really get help? Once in a while you do, you meet somebody that, hey, they're very helpful, they're really customer focused. But to go to college and think this is the answer for equality, oh, you're going to get equality, everybody's going to be in poverty. And all you got to do is look at Venezuela. Cuba, let's not lie about it. Cuba should just be a money, there should be investment, everything. You have socialism, everybody's equally poor. Oh, it's free health care? Good luck on that. I think that's the problem. There's not enough analyzing at what cost do these programs bring. It sounds good, but it's never worked, and that's just the facts. I hate to rant. That's the story of the day. But let's remember the people, firemen, everything like that on 9/11, tough deal. And let's kind of think about all those people that had great ideas to help civilization, you know, to bring about change for the better, and how they were assassinated and taken away all these great programs and ideas that might have worked. All right, that's today's news.